Hello everybody, Nettheim here, and this is... There will be minor spoilers here, based on the Radio Times thing that Steven Moffat did. So anyway... Number 12 on this list belongs to Episode 2, known as Smile. Despite having quite a really menacing title, this episode is on the back end of this list for two main reasons. One, the writer of the Cottrell-Boyce, who has only written one episode prior to this, and it was Forest in the Night. And I think that's enough justification there alone. The other main reason is the fact that the enemies are called emoji bots. And every time I say that word out loud, a little bit of me dies inside. Plus, I haven't seen Gough's directing to really comment on whether that's going to be a good or a bad thing. So, yeah, can't really comment on that. Do I want this episode to be bad, though? No, of course not. I want Boyce to redeem himself. But, for me at this point, Smile is my least anticipated episode of the series. Number 11 on this list belongs to Episode 4, also known as Knock Knock. The reason for this is firstly, due to the fact that we have a new writer to the show, I have nothing to really judge it off. Nothing against Mike Bartlett, but I'm setting low expectations in the hopes that he'll surpass them. I hope he does. And of course, same applies to the director of this episode, Bill Anderson. The other main reason, though it's this far down, is the plot synopsis and the quote that goes along with it. It just seems meh. Cliched, haunted house story, complete with cheesy dialogue. I will say, though, that I hope David Suchet, I think that's how you pronounce his name, David Suchet? Yeah. Is used effectively in this episode. I am genuinely looking forward to his performance in the episode. Number 10 on this list belongs to Episode 5, also known as Oxygen. It's a shame I have to put a Jamie Mathieson episode so far down on this list, because I've genuinely enjoyed all the stories he's written prior to this. I mean, say what you will, but Flatline and Mummy on the Orient Express are two of the best Series 8 episodes. And even though The Girl Who Died was mixed in terms of opinion, I really enjoyed the ridiculousness of the episode. But the premise of this episode, much like Knock Knock, is just meh. It feels like the Under the Lake two-parter in regards to the dead walking, mixed with the Rings of Akaten, but this time it's oxygen used as a commodity rather than memories. Much like Bill Anderson and Lawrence Gough, I have no idea if Charles Palmer's directing will be a good or a bad thing. As I said, it's a shame that a Mathieson episode is this far down on my list, but I hope he delivers again and surprises me with a great episode. Number 9 on this list is Episode 3, also known as Thin Ice. My thoughts of this are the exact same as Oxygen, so moving on. Number 8 belongs to Episode 1, known as The Pilot. From this point on, I'm actually genuinely excited about what's in store for these episodes, based on the information given so far. Anyway, Steven Moffat, say what you will about the guy, but he's written some great stories, so I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt as well this series. Why this episode is so far down, though, is because I feel like Moffat will be playing it safe this time round, you know, introducing a brand new companion and all the baggage that comes along with it, and therefore less time will be devoted to a brilliant story. I could be wrong, he's done it before with the 11th Hour, but for some reason I don't think I am this time. But yeah, much like Mathieson, I hope Moffat delivers another brilliant episode. Number 7 goes to episode 10, also known as The Eaters of Light. I genuinely didn't know where to rank this episode originally, simply because we technically have a new writer, but at the same time, she did write Survival, so she's not really that new to the series. I don't know how to put that in. But seriously, a doorway leading to the end of the world in Scotland? Consider me a drink. Number 6 belongs to episode 12, also known as The Doctor Falls. Again, another Moffat episode so far down on my list. I must be going mad. Regardless, there is a lot to like about this episode. Moffat writing it is one such reason. Rachel Talalay back to direct for a 3rd consecutive season. It has Daisy and Cyberman, which is great. I love the fact that they're bringing another classic series monster back. And Michelle Gomez is back as Missy. And yet, there are 2 reasons as to why it's number 6 and not higher. There is basically no plot synopsis to really work off. And also, the Moffat in recent years tends to write stronger first parts to finales and weaker second parts to stories. Number 5 on this list goes to episode 9, also known as The Empress of Mars. Mark Gatiss. He is one of the most inconsistent writers for the show. I don't feel like anyone really can argue with me on that one there. Just, in terms of quality, he's had his really good... Well, I don't say really good. He's had his good episodes. He's had his decent episodes. And he's had his bad episodes, and there's been a fair amount of that. So, trying to determine whether or not, or what kind of story we're going to get this time around, you just can't pick it. That being said, I'm intrigued by the fact that Mark Gatiss is writing another Ice Warriors story, complete with brand new designed Ice Warriors. The Empress of Mars itself is a really cool title, and the premise is quite fascinating in regards to people from Earth invading Mars, and as a result, this moral dilemma of which side the Doctor will be on in regards to this. Not only that, but this episode, I finally get to talk about a director. The director of this episode is Wayne Yip, who directed the last 2 episodes of Class. Probably, without doubt, the best 2 episodes of Class. So, I'm really looking forward to seeing his directing in Doctor Who. Number 4 on this list belongs to episode 7, also known as The Pyramid at the End of the World. And without even saying anything else, I'm excited. Like, seriously, that title alone poses so many questions, I can't wait to get resolved. Anyway, getting off track there. This episode is a co-write between Steven Moffat and Peter Harness, making this the 2nd episode to be done so. The first, of course, being the Zygon version, which, let's be honest, the monologue in that epic by Capaldi, probably one of the best speeches ever done on Doctor Who. Just saying. It was also going to be directed by Daniel Nettheim. I'm calling him Daniel Nettheim. It is directed by Daniel Nettheim, who previously directed the Series 9 Zygon 2-part, which I literally just talked about beforehand. So I'm looking forward to seeing his directing again. But not only that, but the premise. The premise is just ridiculous. And I love it so much that I just have to read it out to make you understand how ridiculous this is. A 5,000-year-old pyramid stands at the center of a war zone, where the Chinese, Russian and American armies are about to clash. There are many problems with that, but the one that intrigues the Doctor is this. There wasn't a pyramid there yesterday. The Doctor, Bill and Nardole face an alien invasion unlike any other. Before conquest can begin, these aliens need the consent of the human race. This just raises so many questions, and I cannot wait to find out how it all unfolds. It's the second part of a 3-part episode that seems to tie into neither the first or the third episode, which just intrigues me even more. But I'll get to that shortly. Number 3 goes to episode 8, also known as The Lie of the Land. Good old Toby Whithouse. Honestly, I don't think I've ever disliked an episode of his to date. Hang on, I'm just going to figure this out. Alright, so we have School Reunion. Yeah, I like that one. We had The Vampires of Venice. I liked that one. We had A Town Called Mercy. I liked that one. We had The Gold Complex. I liked that one. And then we had The Underlake 2-parter. Yep. I have not disliked a single episode of his. And now he's back for Series 10. Which is just great. Yay! Also, this episode is once again directed by Wayne Yip, who, as I just mentioned beforehand, I cannot wait to see his directing in Doctor Who. And the premise! I get to bring out my laptop again, because the premise is just amazingly... I just have to read it out to you guys. I just have to. Alright, ready? The world is gripped by a mass delusion and only Bill Potts can see the truth. When even the Doctor is fighting on the wrong side, it's up to Bill to convince the Time Lord that humanity is in deadly danger. And if she can't do that, she may just have to kill her best friend. Ha ha! Oh, story. You had me at mass delusion. And this is the 3rd episode in the 3-part episode I was just talking about. Meaning it comes directly after the events of the Pyramid at the End of the World. Go figure! Number 2 on this list belongs to episode 6, also known as Extremis. I have to admit that despite the fact that this episode is written by Steven Moffat, directed by Daniel Nettheim, and guest stars Michelle Gomez as Missy, this episode wasn't really on my radar, even with an awesome title like Extremis. But after reading the synopsis, it sure is now! In the Hereticum, the Vatican's secret library of blasphemy, there is an ancient book known as the Veritas. Throughout history, anyone who has ever read it has immediately taken their own life. Now a new translation is online, and the danger is spreading. The Vatican appeals to the Doctor. Will he read the Veritas? But can even the Doctor survive the ultimate truth? I mean, wow. An episode based on the Vatican. The Vatican! I honestly have no idea how the BBC are going to avoid controversy. But, you know what? Good luck to them. All I can say is that this episode will be a must-watch for me. Oh, and did I mention that this is the first step of the 3-parter preceding both Pyramid at the End of the World and Lie of the Land? Yeah, I have no idea how they connect either. Which means number 1 on this list goes to episode 11, also known as World Enough and Time. World Enough and Time? What does that even mean? Regardless, this is another Steven Moffat story, but more importantly, this is the opener of the 2-part finale. And as I mentioned when talking about the Doctor Falls, he's really good at those. See, the Pandorica opens, Dark Water, and Heaven Sent the proof of this. Coupled with the fact that Rachel Talalay is directing the episode, Michelle Gomez as Missy is back, and the premise, which I'm about to tell you guys, this only just inches out Extremis in terms of anticipation levels. The plot synopsis is, hang on, let me get my laptop. Friendship drives the Doctor into the rashest decision of his life. Trapped on a giant spaceship, caught in the event horizon of a black hole, he witnesses the death of someone he is pledged to protect. Is there any way he can redeem his mistake? Are events already out of control? For once, time is the Time Lord's enemy. Do I even need to say anything else there? I'm just wow. Just wow. This is shaping up to be one of the best series ever in terms of story. And I seriously hope it delivers. Especially after the high standard of Series 9, I want the Series 10 to elevate it even more. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, though. I understand this video is a bit different to every other video I've done on this channel so far. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. Until the next step, Nickname out.